All right. Guess who's back? Back again. Good evening.
Hello there.
Happy pre-stream, everyone.
Oh, lovely.
If I can set everything up. Sorry, I need to okay, I think we're back. Good evening, everyone. I don't know if it's working on YouTube, but let me quickly. Yeah, the normal stream ended on YouTube. See that? That's good. I was a bit afraid I might have started the event up again too soon. Oh no, I see myself as well. Hello, YouTube. So usually I don't stream on YouTube because it's hectic. I'm already nervous enough streaming on Twitch. YouTube tends to be pretty big. Plus, YouTube is a great platform for video on demand. Good to try and keep the two separated. But yeah, thank you all very much for joining the walkthrough, the Q&A. Of course, the biggest thanks goes to the rest of the team, aka the real heroes. Gameplay was amazing. So excited to see it. I'm glad to hear it. Demo was awesome. Hey Thea. Well, here is all the floating stuff we mentioned earlier. It's still there. Love my little forward showcase. I'm glad. It looked really good. Sorry, Caro. Also, I guess as well. Those issues now, good. Yeah, I saw a few issues myself in the Clovian Highlands, but I'm gonna have to go over it properly at some point anyway. Oh. So, I don't have a huge plan for tonight's stream. I think what I'm gonna do is either work a bit on the coast, or we can work a bit. No, you know what? Let's do a bit of work on the coast. It's kind of like easy, chill. I think in terms of what I worked on, we only showed off the little village, right? We lingered too long. Liz, good to see you again. Fun, yeah. Yeah. So, like I said, I think we're just gonna work a bit on the coast. One moment, but you're looking quite sexy. Thank you. I appreciate the sentiment. The Gold Coast is a very well, I wouldn't say. I think dry doesn't really do it justice. It's kind of like a Mediterranean inspired biome. At least for us, it is. And that's kind of what the concepts that we have are based on, and I love the references from the start. It's been a bit difficult to work on the Gold Coast because it requires well, specific assets that we don't necessarily have in-house or had at the time. Now we do, which is the sandstone rock formation. That's kind of a big part of the new redesigned Gold Coast. And that's what we're going to be working with. I'm just going to try and focus a bit on creating the cliffs and creating the beach below. And if everything goes according to plan, it looks okay. If it doesn't, well then a few hundred people will watch me do a bad job live. Every time you say Gold Coast, I keep getting that Katy Perry song in my head. Listen, I love Katy Perry, but I don't know what song you're talking about. I'm intrigued now. The only Katy Perry I know is Fireworks. It's Fireworks. If you have more questions, by the way, feel free to ask them now. That's what these streams are for. But I think most importantly, what I'd like you to do is, if you're here, doesn't matter if you're watching on YouTube or Twitch, but please do check out the Twitch stream team. I completely rebelled the link to the stream team on YouTube, so I kept referring people to the stream team, and surprise, surprise, it wasn't working. But we have a lot of people streaming Skyblivion development. I'd say they're well worth a watch. I don't want to highlight anyone in particular, because it then feels like you're picking favorites, and that's definitely not the case. But some very interesting streams, just for me personally, because it's stuff that I don't do myself, is Roy, who works on armor sets a lot of the time, or other 3D work. Doig is doing implementation, something that I don't understand at all. And Fish Fiend is doing quest implementation, which is also something that surprisingly I know nothing about. Something I never touched. I tried it in the past and I just immediately was overwhelmed and never touched it again. And decided my skills were probably better suited elsewhere. Nice Q&A, thank you. From a California girl? That's alright. Guys, girls, all good. The in-betweeners. Bedtime for me. Alright, Caro. Ciao, ciao. Less than 3. And have a good night. Oblivion Game of the Year is the Prime game. Oh yeah, I read about that. Someone tweeted at me that that was free. Yeah, for those who are interested, you can get Oblivion for free if you have Amazon Prime. That's the thing. Seems like a pretty good deal. Also, if you're curious what I'm doing, it looks like I'm just wasting my time dragging up the land mesh here. I'll show you in a second, but unfortunately the Skyrim, oh crap, Skyrim creation engine does not allow me to paint grass on static objects. So in this case, the dirt cliff is a static object that I cannot paint any grass on. So the transition from grassy plain to dirt cliff looks very sudden and sharp, which you don't want. Like right now it doesn't look too bad, but that's just because there's no grass growing on the other sides, which is not by design, it's by mistake, if anything. So what I'm doing is I'm trying to pull up the land mesh just far enough so that if I was to put a landscape texture on here that actually has grass, it would poke through. And that's just, you know, a bit of a cheeky way to sort of work around certain limitations. Like I can show you actually. So here we have grass, and now it points through, or it pokes through the dirt cliff. Go. And it adds a nice bit of depth to the area. I think anyway. I had an issue with the Twitch team link on YouTube. Yeah, that was my fault. Should be fixed now. So anyone who's still watching on YouTube, do check out the stream team. Too relaxing, I have to go. I've been told many a time actually that my streams are being watched when people are going to bed. Apparently they're very relaxing and they help people fall asleep. And you know what? I'm okay with that. So what I usually tend to do is I never do the grass until I'm kind of done with the area. But at the same time, you know, I want to make this interesting for you fellas and lady fellas. So I don't want to, you know, make it too rebel-like, the stream, you know, where I go over an entire area and I don't really add any detail until, you know, the large chunk of cells is dead. So I'm just going to focus on the one we have here. I think. So I'm kind of happy with the overall progress and the overall look and feel for it. We'll get into detailing. You guys can see what it's like for, you know, cells to get sort of transformed. What's also interesting is that the area we're working on right now has around 400 cells, I think. Now you might be asking yourself, what the hell is a cell? Well, a cell is basically a little square on our map. The map is made of a number of cells, both interior and exterior. Interior cells would be, you know, a house, a dungeon, and they come in all shapes and sizes. You know, someone on our team was actually working on the biggest cave in the game, which is, I think, I want to say crayfish cavern, crayfish cave, something like that, and it has 5 levels. It's kind of crazy. Anyway, a cell is this big, essentially. If you're ever curious why a game map doesn't get made in an afternoon, it's because well, it can be quite a bit of work to even get one cell done sometimes. Yeah, it's like a chunk in Minecraft. The only thing is that in Minecraft it gets procedurally generated, and here I have to not procedurally not generate it. Anyway, like I said, I don't want to overcomplicate this area. We're just going to make it nice and presentable. Pop some rocks down. Later. Thanks for streaming. Never saw the creation of maps live. Yeah, my pleasure. Like I mentioned, we tend to stream fairly frequently, at least on Twitch. So definitely do go check it out. What's also interesting is that, you know, this part of the map is still pretty empty because I haven't done much work. But an area that has received a better amount of work, I'd say, is area here. I mean, it needs to load in, but give it a minute. And in the meantime, I'll take a look at a question or two. Wondering how starting a GoFundMe page sounded to you? Awful. I think That sounds awful. Problem with that is, I think, for one, you know, you change a hobby into a job, where it starts feeling like a job. You know, I have a full-time job. I don't need a GoFundMe page. I work on this in my free time because I enjoy it. And the other thing is that let's say there's a GoFundMe page for the project, how am I gonna pay everyone on the team? How are you gonna decide who gets what and why? There's like a rabbit hole that you sort of fall into and then get out of. It's like deciding who pays for the website and the GitHub, stuff like that. I happily pay for that myself because I can afford it. Otherwise, you're gonna have to decide who gets to pay what for the project that they're already, you know, putting a lot of free time into. I think it just overcomplicates things. Are there elements of the map transferred from Oblivion? How have you moved it over? Well, first, really quickly, so this is an area that's a bit more finalized, presentable. A really cool quarry that I worked on recently. Nice little location. This sort of stuff wasn't in Oblivion. It's added because it makes sense. There's a city down there that would have needed stone to be built, so you know they got the stone from here. There's also like an Oblivion gate that will spawn, but without it, this is what it looks like. There is an Oblivion gate. That's I have to deal with. Yeah. So to answer your question, what we did with Skyblivion is to start things off, we ported the original Oblivion map into Skyrim, and from there we started. Oh shit! Oh the crap! The game is still running. Whoops! I didn't notice that. Transition their lava rock pieces to GC rock pieces with some scorched detail. You can talk me through that in the online office someday. That was good. Are you in love with Todd Howard? I do have his picture up. I wouldn't say I love. I would say I'm an adoring fan of his work. Actually, I have an Oblivion game guide signed by Todd Howard that I'm actually pretty proud of. Yeah. Anyway, going back to that question that I've tried to answer, but I keep distracting myself. The original map was ported, and from that we kind of started building. Well, Skyblivion, as you know it. It wasn't built from scratch. Like we used the base of Oblivion as like kind of our cheat sheet, and from that we started building it out. A lot of the areas in Oblivion, for better or worse, are actually procedurally generated, and it kind of shows because a lot of areas looked very similar to one another. Like they all had these small hills, and they all kind of they look different, but they felt the same when you were running through them. Like from a distance, they looked different. Like they had a different color palette, and that's because there were different trees and different plants growing on them. But when you got close, they felt very familiar, and the only way to combat that or fix that is by Well, in Holland you would say, gooi de beuk erin, you know? Isn't there an expression in English? When you're... No, that's not it. Well, basically you have to do the work. So, yeah. Oh no, I'm an idiot. That's what we did. We start looking at the original locations and you know what we think the developers were trying to go for. We look at the lore, and based on that, you know, we come up with concept art. We compile real life references, because at the end of the day, you know, real life can be a great reference even for a fantasy game. For instance, the area we're in right now is very much inspired by the Mediterranean, which, you know, if you're not from there, already looks like a fantasy location. Don't hear the channel redeems? Oh yeah, I need to fix that tomorrow. I disabled it for the stream. So yeah, if you're redeeming stuff, I'm sorry. I'll get to it soon. What he didn't tell you is that he didn't get it signed by Todd. He bought it from someone who did. That's true. Yeah, the signed game guide is I bought it from someone else. We yell at you when you need to do the coin flip. Alright, sounds good. Kind of blocked out a path. Oh, nice. Find. You could give a rough percentage. What would it be? The problem with that is that I've actually done that semi-recently, accidentally, because I kind of have a rule, and we kind of have a rule, that we don't talk about percentages, because people can get the wrong idea, or, you know, they can take a number and sort of run with it, which is exactly what happened. The problem is it's a volunteer project, so even if I was able to give you a percentage, that percentage means next to nothing. The progress we make today is not representative for the progress we make tomorrow. You know, maybe tomorrow the team is completely fucked. You know, we all have COVID and we can't really get to work for a while, or I don't know, some of our progress gets wiped somehow. You know, you don't know. That's the problem. So yeah, giving an estimate, it doesn't really help you guys. It feels like to me, and it doesn't really help us either, because if I give you a percentage, you can say, okay, well, you've been working on this for X years, and you're at this percentage now, so that means, you know, you have that much more time to make it happen, make it release. And I'm not saying that's something that you guys would do necessarily, but that has happened in the past. And it's the same thing with release dates. You know, you want to give a release date. Internally, we sometimes talk like, hey, it would be nice to have this and that done by that date. The problem is you don't know what life's going to throw at you. You know, things are going pretty good now. You know, we had a new developer diary go out. We have some new volunteers joining us. It's going really well. But there have been periods where things weren't going so well, you know, even though they were going fantastic not too long before that. So progress just, it's so unpredictable, and the people themselves are very unpredictable. You know, we're volunteers. You don't know if someone's going to show up for you know, voluntary work every weekend. Maybe they got a kid all of a sudden, and even though they still want to contribute to the project, they can't, because they gotta take care of a little person. It's a very real thing that has happened and will keep happening, probably. I mean, I'm not planning on getting kids soon, but I am switching jobs. I got a new job, and it's looking like a real good company. I think a place that I'll feel a lot more at home than my old job. So I'm intending to you know, give it 100% as soon as I start. But that also means, you know, for at least a little while, I'll have less time to stream Skyblivion. And if I don't stream Skyblivion, I also don't work as much on Skyblivion. Of course, I'll still do stuff in the background like I always have, but I won't have as much time on my hands all of a sudden. You know, those are just things that are part of life. If this was a proper developer studio, you know, you wouldn't have those issues, because this would be your priority for, you know, a couple hours a day, but it's not. Coin tossing time. All right, yeah. So this is gonna be very weird for people on YouTube, but on Twitch, we get crazy. We get nuts. So we actually have a little game. I have a real life septum, and you can basically bet your channel points on if it's gonna fall on heads or tails if I toss it. The part we have to do now is me dropping the coin when I tried to toss it, so I'm gonna have to do it again. Roll up my sleeves and really try this time. No, I dropped it again. I'm gonna pretend it was the microphone that was in the way, and now it's gonna go fine. Because there you go. See, the microphone was in the way. That was the problem. Didn't have enough space. But it's tails, dragon tails. So. Nice. Hey, everyone's. Big oof. Alright. Like I may have ruined a few people's day. Sorry. Let it be a lesson. Don't gamble your precious channel points away. It's not worth it. But it still looks pretty empty now, right? It looks pretty empty. So next up, we add some bushes. I have a lovely object palette, so I just have to point and click. Stuff magically appears. Life can be so easy sometimes. I've been using opals for a while. Wouldn't be able to get things done as quickly without. The only problem I have with opals is that I often sort of start developing patterns. Like I only place like a lot of bushes in a similar distance from each other, instead of, you know, creating random clusters, for instance, or placing a few extra underneath the cover of a dirt cliff. I have to try and not get too comfortable with just placing them in very specific spots. That we're all right. Skyrim's juniper tree suit as olive trees in the Gold Coast. Interesting, interesting. The juniper tree from 3AMT doesn't look very alive. It's a missing one. Juniper berries from Skyrim. Juniper tree. There's a juniper tree. The problem with using Skyrim as like that is that it doesn't really match very well. So, yeah. Anyway. Rubs. Things like right now, I really don't. I'm not too tense with how this is shaping up. I hope that once I add the trees in a bit more detail, I myself will actually happy with it as a whole. But that's just, I don't know. It feels like kind of part of the process at this point. Don't want to make the areas too densely forested either. Be a bit open and breezy at the same time. Keep in mind the biome you're going for. So right now there's a bit of a lack of these bad boys. It's really hard sometimes to create these biomes. We've created, or no, I've created in the past the design documents for all the areas in Cyrodiil, and it's in your head. You know how it's supposed to look, but it's like, I guess it's the same with drawing. You know, you know how you want something to look, but then actually putting it on paper, it can be pretty difficult sometimes. So imagine being on the team. I'm working with someone like myself, who knows how he wants things to look, but doesn't know how to put it on paper or explain. Nightmare. The team will attest to that. Working with me is a nightmare. Ours looks a lot better when there's some grass growing. Hello, I totally missed that. Many thanks. Seconded? Yeah, see, there we go. Doig doesn't like working with me either. I understand. I don't even feel personally attacked by it or anything. It's just part of it. Like, being part of the project just means having to deal with me. Sorry. It's just the way it is. Is it fair? No. Life isn't fair. It's just the way it is. Reading a Dutch lesson. Okay. Gotcha. When it's me to say in Dutch, I'm sorry, I didn't mean it. Spijt me, ik meen het niet. That. Sorry at all. What I'm doing is I'm just painting a few fine like needle textures underneath the surface of the trees to give it a bit more depth. I mean, I'm not sure if you've ever walked underneath these types of trees, but they tend to shed at least a little bit. Depending on how big the tree is, there'll be more or less of it. At the same time, you don't want the entire area to cover either. It's hard doing these things because on one hand you want to adhere to the rules of reality. On the other hand, reality doesn't always work in a game. Finding a balance. That's what it's. I think this looks alright. Mediterranean-like. Thoughts on our place? I think a Skyblivion patch would be good. It could happen, chat. Sims is based on Dutch? Oh, I didn't know that. It sounds like gibberish. And as a Dutch person, I can attest that Dutch sounds like gibberish. Thinking about sending you guys an application for level design and FMesh, but I don't have anything uploaded to Nexus Mods. Is an Imgur album with loads of screenshots also okay for providing proof of skill? Yeah. I would also send a plugin. Pictures speak a 1,000 words, but a plugin at least 10 more, I'd say. If you send a plugin, we can really look at how you you apply yourself. You know what your level design looks like under the hood. Really helps. It's like with 3D art. You know, you can make renders look amazing, but how well optimized is the mesh? Does the UV map look like? Gonna go to bed. Inspiration for Chain Hall. Alright, sounds good. Have a good night. See you on tomorrow. Half-Life Decay? I don't think I do, no. What is it about? Make a wild guess and say it's something something of a mod. Do you guys still need concept artists? It depends a little bit. Generally speaking, not really. But I mean, if you show a portfolio that we literally just can't do without, there's some minor things that still need concepting. I'm thinking about some concept art for called Deadlands, like the Oblivion realm architecture. I know we're still working on a few of those pieces. A unique asset or two that's like additional content, but can be done. Again, it just kind of depends on who applies, really. Is there anything from ESO or ESO inspired coming? I think on the general, not really. I know I myself haven't really taken anything from Elder Scrolls Online inspiration-wise. It's not because I don't like Elder Scrolls Online. I haven't really played it enough to have an opinion on it. In my honest, well, I guess that is an opinion. But yeah, I think I like some of the things Elder Scrolls Online adds. Things I don't really agree with necessarily. So I don't know. I think it's cool that we're kind of like doing our own thing here. Watch Muppet podcast when? I haven't been asked yet, but even if they did ask me, I'm not gonna lie, I'm pretty booked at the moment. Lots of things to do, very little time to do it in. Doesn't help if most of your free time goes to modding project either. Project is incredibly inspirational to modders everywhere. Team's dedication makes me want to work hard on my own projects. Best of luck moving forwards. Well, thanks, man. Really appreciate you taking the time to share that with self and the rest of the team. It's very kind of you. Putting some are you? Starfish as well? Oh, star. Ah, I didn't know that. Aw, that's great. Twenty times the detail, right? And wait for these starfish to start appearing at 00. Save. I'm actually looking at. Gold Coast, one of my favorite regions in Oblivion. Is Finn Gleam going to get a special model? Yeah, it is, and it's going to get a special location as well. I have an idea for it, which is mostly the idea from another modder on the team, the Ludist. Really, it's his idea. Starfish down. Let's do a little testy test. Taxman cometh and Witcher 3 is hilarious. I love that. I got that as well, but I didn't cheat. I really didn't. That was a very cool little thing they added. Thank you for all the new follows, by the way. Right, yeah, like I mentioned, stuff be floating. But essentially, what I'm trying to do at the moment is just doing a what to call, like a palette test. Trying to work on the, because I've not worked on the Gold Coast yet. This is actually the first time I'm working on the Gold Coast. Just want to kind of see if the look we're going for is what I want, and then if it is, great. I just continue. Are the mudcrab spawns set up in the Gold Coast to spawn the Gold Coast version of them? That's a good shout. I don't think. I swore I saw a mudcrab. Did it just bounce? Oh no, there it is. No, these are normal mudcrabs. Eagles. Yeah, this is not worked on, but we did work on the cliff there, so I just want to give that a look as well. So there's two things to note here. One, I need to make sure the path is a bit more clear of grass, and two, you see how it's just super slanted at the moment? I really have to even that out. Like the path here is a lot better. Like it's very clear where you can and cannot walk, or well, where you should, where it's preferred to walk. That's how we should put it. Yeah, this looks alright. I mean, it looks like an area on the coast going for, so that's fine. Flipping here. Picks up the water as well. But I mean, yeah, I like this. I think this is good style. Usually the challenge for me, and this is different for everyone, but the challenge for me to work on a new area really comes from trying to figure out what you want the area to look like. And I think once you figure that out, it's I wouldn't say easy, but it's easier. Oh. Oh. Wrong camp, wrong camp. Oh, that's the one I wanted to go to. Time for bed for me, alright, Tommy. See you around. Did I say hey, Al? I think I did. Hey, Al. This was the first experiment with the kind of like the Mediterranean forests. I really liked it, and we're still using it now. But yeah, as you may have noticed already, I'm getting really tired as well. I think I'm gonna call it here because I'm getting a bit old. So yeah, I'm gonna call it here for tonight. I do want to say a big thank you for everyone who showed up. If you haven't yet, go watch the developer diary. What else? Follow Skyblivion on social media. Check out the stream team on Twitch. And we'll maybe pick this up tomorrow. Maybe I'll take tomorrow off because you know today was a bit exhausting. Not the streaming. The streaming is great. You know, it's streaming with those Oblivion developers. They are a handful. Yeah. Again, many thanks for joining. Appreciate it. I'm gonna quickly link the developer diary in the chat. See it. See it. You need to like it. You need to leave a comment on it. Well, where's YouTube? Where's my YouTube? Hey, YouTube chat. Have you heard of the High Elves? Right. That's gonna do it for me. Credits time. It's been fun, but it's been equally tiring. One for your time, and see you in the next one. Have a good night. Thanks.